G'day, guys, and welcome to Warrior by Design. I'm your host, Benjamin John. So I just wanted to check in today and talk a little bit about what's this consciousness people talk about. What is it and what are they going on about when they talk about consciousness, right? Because it's like, well, we talk about being in the moment, being conscious. We've talked about some of this stuff before in regards to, what is it and what role does it play in our lives? Well, if I was to talk about consciousness and how we achieve this and how we do this, well, obviously it's individual, but I suppose the fundamentals of it is coming to a point in our lives that we realize that we have choice, because that choice itself allows us to be conscious in the moment that we would normally do something potentially out of a habitual habit or something we've always done or something that we even do that we don't particularly like. These things that we do that don't necessarily serve us in our lives or, serve us for where we want to be in our lives or whatever the case may be. Some of these habits or behaviors, being conscious is about realizing that we have choice, coming to the place where we understand we have choice and also have the seconds to react in that choice, right? Because if I look at my past, if I look at my personal experiences, which is all I can really truly go off, is when I was acting from these behaviors and in a way that I really didn't love or didn't serve me in the way that what I wanted in life, I certainly wasn't who I wanted to be or what I wanted to be. Now, in those moments, I believed I didn't have choice. I believed that it was a reaction. Now, why there's maybe some truth to that, there's also truth to the fact that I had choice to allow it to have that power over me. I had choice to allow it to allow myself to see it in that way. And there were times where I would wear it as a badge of honor. Well, that's just who I am and that's what I do. And if you don't like it, it's on you, whatever. Everyone's different. Everyone's got their own experiences. It might be, I choose to eat this junk food, or I choose not to exercise, or I choose to do all these things. I choose to do things that I don't necessarily truly deep down see as right for me, or even what I really want, but maybe see them as it just is what it is. I can't do anything about it, so on and so forth. So being conscious is coming to that point of our lives where we realize that we truly do have choice. Now, sometimes we need to quiet the mind, or, we hear of this quieting the mind and all this sort of stuff. And I've spoken about it before. It's not necessarily about the thoughts not being there, but it's certainly about coming to an understanding that we have choice in those thoughts, whether we act on them, whether we don't, whether we believe them, whether we don't. Because I'm sure all of us could attest to a situation or thoughts or, something that happened around us where we behaved in a certain way, whatever it is, that it turned out in the end, we even believe from our own perspective that maybe wasn't totally necessary, or it wasn't truly how we wanted to show up or be. That's a reaction. Because if we truly stop bullshitting ourselves, because if we want something, i.e., we want to display a certain behavior and we want not to display a certain behavior, we've got to come to a point where we stop bullshitting ourselves. Bullshitting ourselves in a sense that taking responsibility for how we're acting, how we're showing up, what we're doing, what we're saying, how we're acting, all our stuff, taking responsibility for who we are and who we're showing up in that moment. The more we're able to take this responsibility, the more we're starting to realize that we have choice, the more that we're able to quiet the mind in the sense that we don't have to listen to those thoughts. We don't have to experience the emotions as deeply and as powerfully that affect us. Now, there are tools and techniques that so many people use. There's breathing, there's meditation, there's body work, there's art, there's creativity. so many things out there, you know, in regards to ways to find your way to quiet the mind. You know, something, you know, it might be a hobby that you like, or a place that you can just sit down and relax, or read a book, or whatever it is for you. It's when you're able to sit with yourself and quiet the mind. That could be in an action stage. Well, really everything's an action, whether you're meditating, whether you're sitting in silence, you're doing that. You know, you're doing that. So it's an action of sorts. But when we get down to this conscious way of being, it's about choosing how we want to show up, choosing about what we want to believe within our thoughts, within our behaviors, within our habitual behaviors, with things that we would see as unconscious actions or unconscious habits, or some may say that they're instinctual, or some may say that they're, you know, it's a reaction or it's instantaneous and there's no thought in it. Well, I'm here to tell you, and I'm not the only one, there's many that will, that there is choice in coming to a place of having those seconds, having those moments. Does that mean that you're necessarily going to be able to do this 24/7 all the time? Maybe not. Maybe you can. But it's certainly not everyone can. But it's about being as conscious as we can, allowing ourselves to make the choices of how we want to show up in that moment. Truly loving and respecting ourselves to be our authentic selves, to truly understand who we are, not reacting, not behaving from different unconscious habitual habits, but coming to a place that we're able to catch these, we're able to notice these, and we're able to choose. Who are you in this moment? Who am I in this moment? Is this my authentic self? You know, the old, well, I don't necessarily love it, but the old saying, if I was to die right now, did I do my best? Did I show up how I wanted to show up? Was I able to show love, compassion, empathy, understanding? Was I able to listen, truly hear what someone else had to say? Truly listen to them. Was I able to show up for me? Be authentic to me? Be true to my boundaries in a loving, compassionate way? So to me, consciousness is nothing more than being aware of who we are in the moment. In this now, who am I now? Am I choosing to be this way? And if so, is it how I want to be? Is it how I want to show up? Am I committing to my truth? Am I committing to who I really am? Allowing myself to be safe, to be loved. To me, that's being conscious, achieving what it is we want to achieve, being who we want to be, but truly having choice in that and knowing that we create it, whatever the outcome. when we can take that responsibility, truly understand that in a way that we know this is who we are. Maybe that's conscious. I don't know. I'm not saying this is correct. I'm not saying this is the only way to perceive it. It's a way, maybe. I know for myself personally, the more that I can do this, the happier I am. That joy, that happiness. I don't have to strive for it as much when I'm able to do that. Anyway, guys, a lot of love to you. And I ask, are you choosing who you want to be in this moment? And if you are, is that how you want to show up? And if not, are you going to commit to yourself to explore and find what it is you need, want, or desire to create that experience within your own life and be your authenticity within that? I'll speak to you later, guys. Remember, explore, create, and be. Well, thank you for listening. If you found this episode valuable, please take the time to like, share, and subscribe. It really does make a difference. It helps others out there explore their warrior, create a life of choice by design, and be all that they wish to be. Remember, explore, create, and be.